Hi everyone, welcome to Lipstick on a Rig. Today we're going to be making this super awesome checkered basket. For this project, I'm going to be using two different skeins of size 4 medium weight acrylic yarn. But this project is perfect for scrap yarn because you don't have to use yarn that's the same size, weight, brand, or type. And if you're using a chunky yarn, then you only need one strand, you don't need two. We'll also be using a size K or 10.5 crochet hook. So go ahead and grab both ends of your yarn from your two skeins. And we are going to be working these two yarn strands like they are one. So we'll be working them simultaneously for the entire pattern. So to get started, we're going to tie a magic circle and then we're going to place 12 double crochets inside of it. And if you're unfamiliar with any of the stitches used in this pattern or with the magic circle, please check out my stitch tutorials that I will link to in the description. So from here, we're going to begin a continuous loop pattern, which means we won't be starting and stopping each individual row, but it's going to act as more of a spiral. So you might find it helpful to grab a scrap piece of yarn or a stitch marker to keep up with the first stitch in every row. So the pattern for the next row is just going to be to place 2 double crochets in each stitch in our row. And when we get to the end of our row, we should have a total of 24 double crochet stitches. And the pattern for the next row is going to be to place 1 double crochet in the first stitch and then 2 double crochets in the second stitch. And you're just going to want to repeat that, alternating between 1 and 2 double crochets for your entire row. And when you get done, you should have a total of 36 double crochet stitches. And the pattern for the next row is going to be to place 1 double crochet in the first 2 stitches and then to place 2 double crochets in your third. And you're just going to want to repeat that going all the way around your row, and when you get done, you should have a total of 48 double crochet stitches. And the pattern for the next row is going to be to place 1 double crochet in the first 3 stitches and then to place 2 double crochets in that 4th stitch. And you're just going to want to repeat that going all the way around your row, and when you get done, you should have a total of 60 double crochet stitches. And the pattern for the next row is going to be to place 1 double crochet in the first 4 stitches and then to place 2 double crochets in your 5th stitch. And you're just going to want to repeat that going all the way around your row, and when you get done, you should have a total of 72 double crochet stitches. And that was our last row of increasing, so it should look like this. So from here, we're just going to place 1 double crochet in the front loops only of each stitch in our row, so right here. And when you get to the end of your row, it should look like this. So from here, what we're going to do is we're going to place 1 front post stitch in our first 3 stitches. And if you're unfamiliar with how to place a front post stitch, I'm going to show you. So first, you just need to find your post, and that is this stem here that makes up the stitch. So this is not the top of the stitch like we would normally crochet in. So once you found your first post, go ahead and yarn over. Then insert your crochet hook from the front around to the back, and then back around to the front again. Then yarn over and pull through that post. Then yarn over and drop 2 loops, and then yarn over and drop 2 more. So now you're going to want to repeat that process for the next 2 stitches so that you have a total of 3 front post stitches. From here, what you're going to want to do is place 3 back post stitches. So I'll show you how to do that. Go ahead and yarn over, then inserting your crochet hook from the back to the front and then back around to the back again. Then you're going to yarn over and pull through your post, yarn over and drop 2 loops, and yarn over and drop 2 more loops. And that's going to be your pattern for the entire row, placing front post stitches and back post stitches alternating every 3 stitches. And when you get to the end of your row, it should look like this. So all we're going to do for the next row is just follow like patterns. So if you placed a front post stitch in your previous row, you're going to place a front post stitch in this row. And the same thing applies to our back post stitches. And when you get to the end of your row, it should look like this. And for the next row, we're just going to repeat that last row one more time. And when you get to the end of your row, it should look like this. So now all we're going to do is reverse the pattern. So in every stitch where you had a front post stitch, we're going to place a back post stitch. And in every stitch where you had a back post stitch will now be a front post stitch. And when you get to the end of your row, it should look like this. So now all you're going to want to do is follow like patterns for the next 2 rows. So in every stitch where you have a back post stitch, you'll place a back post stitch. And in every stitch with a front post stitch, you'll place a front post stitch. And then you're going to want to repeat like stitches for 3 rows. I went ahead and repeated this cycle 2 more times, but you could repeat this as many times as you wanted to get this to your desired height. And from here, we're just going to place a single crochet in the next 3 stitches and then a slip stitch in the following 3 stitches. And then we're just going to cut and tie off our yarn. And then I like to weave my tail along the edge of the basket for a couple of stitches and then weave it down the inside. And for me, I'm actually going to be turning this inside out, so the inside's going to be on the other side. And once you're done hiding your tail, it should look like this. Please let me know in the comments below if you experienced any issues while you were making this, and I will do my best to help you out. If this video helped you, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel, Lipstick on a Rig. Thank you so much for working with me, and I hope you have a wonderful, awesome day.